The decision to become a parent is monumental for anyone. While some in our community can make babies by having sex, the vast majority of us must utilize outside resources, and the decision-making on the way to conception can be overwhelming. Even the more obvious choices to be made, such as finding donor gametes or deciding who will carry the pregnancy, can be paralyzing for many families, whether you're single, coupled, or in a poly relationship. The complexity of each of these decisions intersects with every aspect of our identities, from racial background to gender identity to career and socioeconomic status, from religion and spiritual identity to where we live and who we call family. For every individual choice, there are implications for that decision that lead to further decision-making, like a never-ending series of Russian dolls that are opened one after another, all based on the simple desire to hold a baby in our arms. Deciding when to have a baby. While many people struggle with this question, those of us who must conceive with donor gametes and/or a surrogate have a lot more to consider than families who can conceive on their own. For any family, adding a child may depend on financial readiness. However, the additional costs associated with donor conception, IVF, or surrogacy are substantial. And for people who are considering future desires for parenthood in the context of pursuing gender-affirming hormone treatment and/or surgeries, the timing of seeking pregnancy can be even more complex. As you navigate life plans that include having a baby, consider the following age considerations. When to conceive with your own sperm. Sperm production begins during adolescence, and while many people think there is no upper age limit on the fertile capacity of bodies that make sperm, sperm quality starts to decline over age 40. Chromosomal abnormalities are more common over age 45, so while you may be able to conceive at a later age, the chance of miscarriage is higher because of chromosomal issues. If you started a gender transition during childhood and only took blockers to delay puberty, your reproductive capacity can be expected to return after blockers are stopped and puberty resumes. However, if you added gender-affirming estrogen, it is unlikely that your body will ever be able to make sperm. The same is true if you started your transition after going through endogenous puberty. Blockers alone simply put the reproductive system on pause, but adding estrogen causes changes in the testes that are often irreversible. While fertility medicine may be able to help you conceive even with a very low sperm count, the safest plan of action is to bank your sperm before hormonal transition. Even if you are undecided about becoming a parent, gamete cryopreservation prior to hormonal gender transition is the best way to ensure the possibility should you someday decide to pursue genetic parenthood. Until health insurance companies provide coverage and/or sperm banks provide financing and payment plans, as they often do for other health indications such as cancer treatment, the costs must come out of pocket. Although you may need to ask your family or community for help raising funds, expect around $2,000, and it may take some time to build your count and provide the samples. You may be really glad you did. Get an analysis and test thaw to see what your sperm count is like. If you have been tucking or there are other fertility inhibitors in your daily life, you may need to take about 3 months to build your count before banking. More information on how to do this can be found in Chapter 2. Once you start banking, you will go to the clinic every couple of days for about 2 weeks. Aim for 8 to 10 vials for every child you think you may want to have.